When I look back at the 8-bit era, classic Mega Man was the king of all platform games. But for me, the jump to the SNES for Mega Man X wasn't just a graphical upgrade. It felt like the series finally grew up. I've spent countless hours with both, but there are 10 undeniable reasons why X offers a far superior, more evolved experience. A Mega Man story that actually feels heavy. You know, I genuinely believe the Mega Man series is great in organic design because it respects my intelligence rather than smothering me with tutorials by teaching me through the gameplay. I find it incredibly satisfying to learn a mechanic, like those infamous Gutsman platforms, by observing the environment. Classic Mega Man has its charm, but let's be real. The Dr. Wily is at it again plot is pretty thin. When I first played Mega Man X, the shift in tone hit me immediately. It felt like a world war. The intro stage was enough to hook me up. We see X struggling with free will and violence, and such themes are surprisingly mature for an action game. Why dashing makes X feel so much better to control. The moment I unlocked the dash boots, I knew I could never go back. If you go back to the classic games, Mega Man moves at a very steady pace. It's a fixed rhythm of walking and jumping. But X is built for speed. The introduction of the dash mechanic changed everything for me. In simple terms, the dash is a quick burst of speed on the ground that you can also use to dash jump, launching yourself across the screen with incredible momentum. It makes movement feel aggressive and responsive. Instead of just reacting to enemies, I feel like I'm hunting them down. You can chain jumps together, dodge through projectiles, and get close to bosses and finish them. Classic Mega Man feels like a platformer, and Mega Man X feels like an action movie. That extra bit of control over your velocity makes every second of gameplay feel exciting rather than just functional. Wall jumping turns every level into a playground. Wall jumping might be one of the best things they ever did. In the original games, falling into a pit or missing a platform means instant death. In Mega Man X, X can slide down walls and kick off them to regain height. I love that if I make a mistake, I often have a second chance to recover. It also opens up the level design, and that leads us to vertical paths and hidden secrets that just wouldn't be possible without this mechanic. It turns the environment from a series of obstacles into a playground. There's a mobile game called Ninja Arashi that has the same mechanic, and now that I think about it, it might be inspired by Mega Man X. If you guys haven't played it yet, do give it a try. Armor upgrades that change how you approach the game. One of the things I find most refreshing about Mega Man X is how it treats the protagonist as a growing entity rather than a boring hero. In the classic series, you're mostly relying on basic equipment and temporary consumables. Sure, Mega Man 7 gave us the super adapter, but that was nothing. In the X universe, the more you explore, the more you grow. I love the thrill of hunting down heart tanks to expand my health, or tracking down those sub-tanks to store life energy for a rainy day. Finding Dr. Light's hidden capsules are one of my favorite parts of the X series. You find boots that let you dash, a helmet that breaks blocks, body armor that cuts damage in half, and a buster upgrade that changes your entire attack pattern. Each piece of armor changes how you play. It's satisfying to enter a stage feeling underpowered and leave with a new ability that makes you feel like a tank. It adds character progression that the classic series just doesn't have. Secrets everywhere, and a reason to go back. The levels in the classic series are like a straight line from start to finish. Mega Man X treats its stages like mini explorable worlds. What's really cool, and something I find myself geeking out over every time, is how the game encourages you to revisit stages. You might see a heart tank trapped behind a wall you can't break yet. Once you get the right weapon or the right armor piece from another level, you go back and claim your prize. It makes replaying levels feel like a fun scavenger hunt rather than a chore. Boss fights that reward learning, not just memorization. Classic Mega Man bosses feel like a puzzle. Use the right weapon and they die in seconds. Use the wrong one and it's a nightmare. The Maverick bosses are a huge step up from the Robot Masters. Their patterns are complex and make you learn their movements and the environment. Because you have the dash and the wall jump, the bosses can be faster and more advanced. I've also noticed that the weapons you get from these bosses are much more versatile. In the classic series, I often only used special weapons for the specific boss they were weak against. In X, weapons like the shotgun ice or the homing torpedo are genuinely fun to use against normal enemies in the stages. Still challenging, but way less cheap. Don't get me wrong, Mega Man X is still tough, but it feels fairer. Cause, the classic games relied on got you moments like spikes you couldn't see or enemies that spawn right as you jump. X reduces those cheap deaths by giving you better mobility and more tools to survive. With sub-tanks to restore health and permanent armor upgrades, it gives you the means to overcome the challenge. Call it a design philosophy that respects the player's time and skill rather than just trying to drain their lives. A huge visual and musical glow-up. The jump to 16-bit hardware allowed for some top-notch atmosphere because the backgrounds feel alive. I still get chills during the intro stage when the city is crumbling around you. The transition to the Super Nintendo was such a monumental leap for this series, and because the hardware was so much more capable, the developers could blend varied assets into the backgrounds. That same technology allowed them to play with my emotions too, By using clever background layering and the ability to render sprites far larger than the hero, they designed claustrophobic arenas where bosses tower over you. Oh, and the music? It's legendary. The soundtrack leaned into rock style that perfectly matches the faster gameplay. Tracks like Storm Eagle or Spark Mandrill are absolute bangers that I still listen to today. Why X and Zero instantly stood out? There's something about the designs of X and Zero that's very appealing, or, should I say, it just works. Good for the eyes and mind. X looks like a futuristic evolution of the Blue Bomber, but Zero is the one who stole the show for me. He's mysterious and he has a beam saber. Their relationship brings drama that was missing from the classic cast. Zero's presence makes the world feel larger, as if there are legends and stories happening beyond just what X is doing. And this was necessary. As gamers, we always need a little bit of a backstory. Classic Mega Man, but evolved in every way. At the end of the day, Mega Man X takes the foundation of the classic series and expands it in every possible direction. It keeps the core beat a boss, get a power loop, but adds a richer story. The contrast is simple. The classic games are straightforward and minimalist, which is great for a quick fix. But Mega Man X is a deeper, faster, and more rewarding experience. It's the franchise reaching its full potential, and that's why it will always be the superior way to play, at least for me. Whether you're a fan of the old school challenge or you prefer the high-speed action of the 16-bit era, there's no denying X changed the game forever. For me, it will always be the peak of the franchise. It's got the heart and the style that makes it an absolute masterpiece. What else makes you like this game? Let me know in the comments and share your views about the old classic Mega Man as well.